it look like to you? Is it a devil with horns? Is it a murderer? Is it a thief who steals in the night? In the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the deplorable White Witch shows pure evil through her actions. She fills the land of Narnia with distrust. Will her plans to take over Narnia succeed? Let me take you into the cold and miserable land of Narnia, where Edmund meets the White Witch, Jadis. The story begins when Edmund, Lucy, Susan, and Peter are playing the main characters of the book, are playing hide-and-go-seek in their uncle's house. Edmund has looked and looked and found everyone except for Lucy. Where could she be? So he looks again until he finds one particular room that he hasn't looked in, and it's empty except for an old wardrobe in the middle of the room. So Edmund calls for Lucy, but Lucy is still not there. Of course, Edmund is curious, so he goes inside the wardrobe and realizes that there's no back wall to it. Where could it be? And the next thing you know, it's starting to get cold and snowing around him. And then he looks around and he's in a wintry forest. As Edmund is walking, he hears sleigh bells in the distance. Or is he just dreaming? But then he hears them again, and they're coming closer. Suddenly, a white sleigh appears, pulled by 2 white reindeer, and a white lady sitting on top. And of course, an ugly dwarf whipping the reindeer to go faster in front. That's when she sees Edmund. This is no ordinary lady. This is the White Witch, Jadis. So she stops the sleigh and urges Edmund to come sit beside her. And he does, and she offers him a warm drink and some Turkish delight, which I don't have any today, but it's really good. And he has his fill of food and drink. And the witch shows a castle in the distance between 2 mountains and invites Edmund to come in sometime and bring his siblings. So, quite frankly, he agrees, or should I say unknowingly, for the witch had devised a plan that when he would bring his siblings, she would throw them into dungeons, lock them in, and destroy them forever. But as many of you know, that did not happen if you read the books. So Edward went back through the wardrobe and happened to stumble on Lucy, who had been having tea with a fawn named Mr. Tumnus, who was a half-man, half-goat. And the next morning they went back through, in the lead. Lucy was in the lead, followed by Edmund, Susan, and Peter. And while they were there, they met the Beavers, who invited them in for dinner. And they soon realized, after talking for all the night, that Edmund was not there. Where could he be? But because while they were talking, Edmund just quietly slipped out the door and gone to the witch's castle. While he was there, Edmund sadly told the witch where his family was. So she sent a pack of wolves to destroy the Beaver's house. But thankfully everybody got out safely. A few days later, when Peter, Lucy, Susan, and Aslan, the creator of this wonderful and magical land of Narnia, were by the sea, Peter gets his first taste of battle with one of the witch's henchmen, which is a wolf, and he thankfully destroys it. Then Aslan makes a bargain with the White Witch to save Edmund from the witch's grasp. When they made the bargain, nobody expected it to be Aslan's death. One night, while Lucy and Susan could not go to sleep, they happened to see Aslan walk by the tent. So they followed him and asked him to keep him company. So they did, and they soon told him to leave him and go back to bed. But they persisted and followed in the shadows. And they sadly watched him beaten and shaved and later killed by the witch. And they waited until everybody was gone, and then they went to him, and were soon unaware that they had gone to sleep until they woke up the next morning. And Aslan was gone. Then they heard a noise behind them, as if something was going to pounce on them. They spun around, and standing before them was Aslan himself, alive and well, and not shaved. Then they told him to hop on his back, and they raced to the were-witches against the witch that very morning. In part of the battle, Edmund fought with the witch and destroyed her wand, which was used for turning people into stone that would not listen to her. And when she was vulnerable, Aslan pounced on her, cut her down with his powerful jaws, thus ending the tyrannical witch's rule over Narnia. So what does evil mean to you? As it says in Isaiah 5:20, woe to those who call evil good and